Never heard no music come from my heart when no one else is neither. Oh shit, you ain't met the right girl yet, but when you do, you.
What's up? Every day with you, it's like Valentine's Day. 24/7, yeah, yeah, yeah. Every day with you, it's like Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day. Oh, every day with you, every day with you. It's like Valentine's Day. You're sweeter than candy, girl. Every day with you, over and over. It's like Valentine's Day. So I don't need a reason to buy you flowers. No, no. Rise and shine. Good morning to you, beautiful. It's Valentine's Day. We gon' just do our usual. Breakfast in bed, rich toast and scrambled eggs. TLC ain't too proud to beg. Been ready for your jelly, and you're my jam. And you take me just as I am. So open up this card, get a shower, get dressed. The way you hold me down, you only deserve the best. Every day with you, in every way. It's like Valentine's Day. You smile and you look so good to me. Every day with you, it's like Valentine's Day. Love to love ya. Every day with you, it's like Valentine's Day. Every day with you, it's like Valentine's Day. And I don't need a reason to buy you flowers. No, no, no.
Let's make this our evening to remember.
Oh, how sweet.
Hey, every day. You heard?
Nice. I like it.
Welcome. You like that? Greetings and salutations, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another installment of the hottest new internet sensation by the name of the No Shortcut Show with Midas and Fame.
You.
I am Midas, that is Fame.
What's happening?
Hey, it's 12 o'clock. Yeah, or 2. It's 12 o'clock. It's noon, ladies and gentlemen. It's Tuesday. Today is February 13th. And we're just glad to be back here. What episode number are we on again? I meant to take a look.
Oh no, I didn't. I did not do that.
Oh,
I
okay.
broke it up into seasons now.
Yes. Okay.
I haven't
So
been keeping the running count.
I'm gonna say about 80 or so.
80 something. I think
Yeah.
87, 88 is something like that.
Yeah, so nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, we count it nothing less than a pleasure to have you guys join us. Again, as you're coming on in, feel free to say hi. There's my brother, Smooth Sales. So that song came about because of my brother was doing a promo for Valentine's for Smooth Sales. And Matt, be sure to drop your link in the comments. So he wanted something for Valentine's. Hey, Mom, I love you. Love my brother, too. My family's always here supporting. But so I had a few choices for him, but I was like, let me just do something specifically like a Valentine's Day theme song for his ad. And, of course, I can use it on my end as well. So I wanted to preview it here today for you guys.
Yeah, man, that was good.
Because tomorrow is Valentine's Day.
Yeah. You don't want it to sit there till next year. You gotta go ahead and use it now.
You don't want to play it for Easter or St. Patrick's and none of that. Yeah. So we had to go ahead and we're airing today, which is the day before. So we wanted to go ahead and play a little theme song that was appropriate, you know. And that's the advantage that we have here, you know, I have as far as me making music and things. Here, I can test the waters out. Where we are right here with No Shortcuts, ladies and gentlemen. We hope everybody had a great weekend and their week is off to a great start. Welcome to everybody. If you're joining us on Facebook, whether you're joining us on YouTube, or whether you're joining us on Twitch, or you're catching us on Spotify or Apple Music, we are so glad to have you guys here with us today.
Happy Fat Tuesday. Yeah, Fat Tuesday.
Yeah. We got, is that Francais? We got some Francais? Yeah, parlez-vous.
New Orleans vibe.
Yeah, there's a link, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, Anita Morris.
What up, Anita?
And Yeah, and Simply Sweet Ice Cream is here. She's doing a lot of work. She started her company since coming around, and hanging out with us here at No Shortcut. So, welcome to you. Feel free to drop your links in the comments, guys. And y'all feel free to check their pages out and feel free to support. It costs you nothing to support
Yeah.
each other.
Absolutely, man. How was your weekend? How was your week since the last time we were here?
Yeah, that's the link, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, so we can see your name when you comment. Man, it was been a pretty light week. The winter months are a little more laid back, but I did do a corporate event for men's apparel up in Charlotte at the Embassy Suites last Thursday. Thomas Hunter and myself,
Yeah.
one of the vocalists with the chairman of the board, we've done that gig maybe 5 times or so now. But it's a
Okay.
clothing company. They come from all over nationally, and they have a big convention at the Embassy Suites, and they had entertainment for Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We were the entertainment for Thursday evening. I had my
Cool.
son with me. It was a fairly early gig, like 6 to 8. So he was able to come, and he made me get on the elevator afterwards because you can see out the elevator
Hmm.
and all of that.
Yeah.
So he had to do that before we left. So after I finished the gig, before I packed up or anything, we went by the snack table and we took a ride on the elevator so he could get a
Yeah.
glimpse and a feeling of that or whatever. So he had a good time. Let's
Little
see,
top of the
Friday,
world.
huh?
He did a little top of the world.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He was on top of the world
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah, and so let's see. Friday night was an off night. Saturday, Brandon Stevens and I, shout out to my Mellow Groove brothers. But Brandon and I, where were we? We were at the Elks Lodge in Rock Hill for their pre-Valentine's Day
Oh
event.
yeah.
So that was lovely, and they sent us home with loaded baked potatoes and cupcakes. And then Sunday I was at Mount Dewell being the minister of music, Mount Dewell Baptist
Mhm.
Church. Shout out to the lovely folks down there in McConnell's, South Carolina. And yesterday, as I say, is Monday is like the reset button. And
Yep.
here we are today. But I do have to shout out my son real quick. I'm thinking about it while I'm talking about him. He got selected for the month of February, the student of the month or something like that. His
Hmm.
teacher messaged me yesterday, and then she invited me to come read to the kids the first week of March. So I'm
Oh
like, I
wow.
will most definitely do that. But he
Yeah.
says he says I'm gonna embarrass them.
Yeah. What you gonna read? Any ideas? What you gonna read?
Nah, I'm gonna pick something. I may even go to the library. I may have to go buy corks, cooks, and books and find a book. I would like to read something that would be something the kids can learn from, maybe take a lesson from, though. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. You
Something that they can
the
take a lesson
Segway
from.
king right there too. I see what
Hmm?
you tried to do there with the segue
Oh
right into
yeah, yeah, yeah,
corks,
yeah. You
cooks,
know me
and
well.
books.
Yeah. What about your weekend and going into the beginning of your week?
Yeah, man, it's just nothing much business wise. Wedding this coming Saturday to kick off
Okay.
my wedding season. So we're starting this
Mhm.
Saturday. So the past week is just kind of getting everything prepared for that,
Yeah,
getting ready for the big season. I have this one coming
absolutely.
up Saturday, and then another one coming up on Thursday, the following Thursday. It's a Thursday
Hmm.
wedding. So just
Yeah,
getting ready for the season. We had to buy a new
yeah.
vehicle last week, so
Yeah,
got a
I've been
new
seeing you. I've
vehicle.
been seeing you doing a little business on the Facebook marketplace. There
Oh yeah, when I
popped up
sold
on
the
my
car,
page.
that came up
About
on your page
the
when I sold the
yeah,
car.
yeah, yeah. It
Oh
came up in
okay,
my
I didn't see
feed.
it.
I'm like, yeah, because you spoke about it on here. I believe that I forget which episode it was or what guest we
Yeah,
had, but you were talking about making some moves with your vehicle and all of
yeah,
that.
we
So it
needed
came up.
to get rid of that car, and I really honestly didn't think anything was gonna happen that fast. I was
Hmm.
just like, let's just go ahead and put it up there and see what happens.
Yeah, but with the
Bro,
price of
my
these
thing
vehicles,
all night, like within an hour, I had like 30 messages. And the
hmm
dude ended up coming all the way from Mullins, South Carolina. It's like a
wow, that's
2 hour
near kind of where
drive.
I'm. Yeah,
He
wow.
came all the way from Mullins to come get it that same night. So
Hmm.
that happened very very quickly. So that
Yeah,
was a
that's good.
blessing. That was a blessing. But yeah, went ahead and
Yeah,
got a truck. Because it's basically going to be a vehicle. So I went ahead and got a big truck that for all my equipment and stuff like that. So
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's gonna work out better.
yeah, it's
And
going
I
to work
saw,
out a whole lot better.
yeah, so I saw when you posted it, and I saw when it was sold. I was like, yeah, he got
Yeah,
it done.
it's gone. It's gone.
Yeah, man. Well,
Let's
that's
go.
awesome, bro. Awesome,
Yeah,
awesome.
man. Thank you, bro. We ended up just finding a deal that like I just couldn't pass it up for what it was, and
Hmm.
it's not brand new, but it's a 2023, and it only has
Oh,
5,000 miles on it, so it's pretty
yeah,
much
that's
brand
good.
new. And it was
That's
like it was so worth it. So it was
yeah,
like we weren't even thinking about doing it right then, but we knew if
hmm
we passed that up, it
yeah,
wasn't gonna get as
yeah.
good as that. So
Right, right. Well, that's great,
so we
man.
did
That's
that
great. I'm
thing.
glad it's working out. You gotta when we got this equipment to haul around, we need to
Yeah.
have enough space.
Yeah, you
You
remember
know.
the days of squeezing it in the back seat of that that
Yeah, yeah,
sedan,
yeah. That's
you know?
very vehicle, man.
Yeah, so now
No,
we've
which is roomy if
outgrown.
you're not going to be hauling stuff around, right? But
Yeah,
if in our
exactly.
case, when we're
Yeah,
hauling, you got speakers or whatever,
yeah,
whatever you got to take to your gigs, you want to have a little
yeah,
bit more space,
yeah,
For sure.
exactly. And then I couldn't. The minivan wasn't always available because wifey had things to do with the
The
kids and getting
kids,
them
yeah,
around. So now we're
yeah,
in a good place.
absolutely, absolutely.
Getting ready for wedding season, man.
It's almost among us.
Yeah, yeah, it's gonna be good. And actually, the one coming up in February that I mean, not, I mean, the later one at the end of the month.
Hmm.
I'm DJing and I'm their wedding officiant. So
Wow, you're gonna be running back and forth like
yeah,
if you, ladies and gentlemen, if chicken with the head cut off was
yeah.
a
So
person.
I'm marrying them and I'm performing the the reception. So
Yeah, 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 yeah. Very nice, very nice. I was gonna ask my brother right quick, Matt, how our levels are we balanced before we proceed? We're gonna still proceed, but we'll adjust on the
we will
fly.
proceed.
Yes, are we ready?
Congratulations to your son, and it's a parent's job to embarrass their kids.
Who
That's
said
right.
that?
That's right. It is. You got to embarrass. I embarrass mine all the time.
Yeah, it's good. It's good embarrassment though. We
Yeah,
have fun.
for
You know
sure.
what I mean? We
For
have
sure.
fun.
Hey
Yeah,
man,
yeah.
let's go ahead and let's go ahead and move on to our guest, brother.
Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, we don't want to keep you guys all day because we do want to have a hard stop for our guest at 1 o'clock. She's at work right now, joining us and preparing for all the
Yeah.
festivities that are going on for the holiday, for tomorrow. But just a quick backstory. I met this young lady. Brandon and I were playing an event here in Rock Hill. For Max Abilities back in October. I know I'd spoken about it on here, and it was a fundraiser for folks with disabilities, I guess whether mental or physical. But nonetheless, it was an event where we were providing the music. You purchase a ticket and you come and you can sample foods from numerous restaurants and whatnot that were in representation. And so our guest today and her business partner were there. And when Brandon and I took a break, we only had a little bit of time. They were close by. We're going to get us a little bite to eat. We began striking up a conversation with them, and they began to talk with us about having us come to their establishment and entertain sometimes. And since then, we've been there like once a month since November.
Nice.
So without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, make some noise in the chat. Put some ones, whatever you do. Make some
Please.
noise for it. Chef, business owner, serial entrepreneur, Miss Shonali Thomas, ladies and gentlemen. And
Hey.
and she
Hey.
made me some burrito tacos.
Listen. Yeah. And before we start,
Hello,
I'm gonna tell you.
everybody.
Hello.
Hello.
Before we start, I'm gonna tell you he was talking about those burrito tacos for a long time
Yeah.
before and then after you made them. He
Yeah.
been going on about those tacos. So good job.
Thank
Yeah.
you. That makes me happy. From the time he picked him up, it was literally maybe 15 minutes that he sent me a message and said how he had already ate all of them. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
happy.
Because it was a whole build up. Hi, Robin Barbie and the
Hey,
Barbs.
Robin.
It was a whole build up because I had been seeing it on Facebook. I'm like, I want to try these, but I couldn't. None of the restaurants I would call or whatever. It was like a seasonal thing, or they never had them.
Hmm.
So I knew like after Christmas, going into the new year, I wanted some, and I messaged Shonali. I'm like, you make burrito tacos, and she's like, yeah, I can do it. I was like, okay, well, let me know the price, and I'll be there. So she looked out for me, and I appreciate
Yeah.
that. Yeah,
Nice
yeah.
to
So
have a
it's
chef. Nice to have a chef's
a
phone
chef
number.
friend, right?
Like,
If
yeah,
you want something to eat, you call and say, hey, can you
yeah,
make this? And I say, no, but I will.
yeah,
And I
Yeah,
do it,
yeah.
yeah.
I
And
love
and at
that.
the end of the day, we all have to eat.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. Because if you don't eat, you don't want to deal with those circumstances. So, you might as well enjoy yourself in moderation. Well,
Yeah.
nonetheless, it's a pleasure to have you here with us today. And before we proceed, we always like to ask our guests where they were born and raised, and for them to tell us a little bit about their childhood and upbringing.
Well, I was born and raised in Northern California, Sonoma County, Napa County, that whole Marin area, wine country, I guess you would say.
Hmm.
Um, and I lived in the country in a little tiny dirt road house, and lived the whole country life and learned
Yeah.
about wine and all that fun stuff. My parents were fantastic cooks, and
Hmm.
I learned. I had a little mud kitchen, my brother and I, and we used to cook in the backyard and make all kinds of
Wow.
funny, fun mud baking
Mud
things.
pies.
And
My sister and I used to do that.
pies, yes, mud pies, muffins, all those things out of mud.
Hmm.
We did not eat them.
Right,
Um,
right. Can't do that.
no, so we did learn how to play with mud and do all those things, and learn from our parents all the good stuff. And I moved from Northern California to San Diego, and then from San Diego to the Carolinas.
Okay, so you have siblings?
I
Yeah.
do. I have a younger brother who is 3 years younger than me, and an
Hmm.
older sister who is 5 years older than me. And they are
Oh,
both
okay. You're in the
fantastic.
middle like me.
Yes, yes. So
Okay, cool.
my sister actually owns an amazing food truck in Northern California, and
Hmm.
she goes around all the breweries and all the fun stuff. And my brother lives in Montana, and he's a fantastic cook. He likes to do a lot of smoking
Wow.
and make pies and fun
Yeah.
stuff. And so
Yeah.
we all love to cook.
Got bit by the bug, the
Yeah.
cooking
Yeah,
bug.
we all got the
So
cooking bug.
so
Yeah.
when
Go
you
ahead,
say that
Fables.
your parents were fantastic cooks, were they professional cooks as
No,
well, or did just at home? And
yep,
and
just at home.
all three children picked it up and ran with it.
Yeah, we
That's
did.
Yeah.
awesome.
Now, were you guys required to help in the kitchen, or was it like more of just a recreational thing?
No, we were required to help, and that was part of the not so much fun part of it.
Hmm.
I remember hating to cut onions,
Hmm.
and hating to grate cheese, and hating to peel potatoes. And
Mm.
so to this day, this is why I have people who work for me, because
Yeah.
they're great to peel
Delegate.
potatoes and do all the things that I hate to do now. So it's
Yeah.
Hmm.
fantastic.
Yeah, I got a question in regards to my childhood. My mom is probably on here. Did you have to crack pecans?
No,
Oh
we had
yes.
to crack walnuts. So
Oh, okay, that's
we
close
had
enough.
walnut trees on our
Hmm.
property, and
Mhm.
we had to pick all of the rotten walnuts up on top of the regular walnuts, and then we had to harvest them and crack them. And we also
Mhm.
lived on an apple farm, so we had like an orange, a whole acre of apples. So we would have to pick up
Mm.
all the rotten apples and all that stuff, and we
Wow.
would make all those
Okay.
things like apple butter, applesauce, apple.
Yeah.
To this
Yeah.
day, I hate cooked apples.
Wow. But
There's
oh,
that.
yeah.
Hmm.
Well, Brandon is on. My Mellow Groove brother
What
is
up,
speaking,
Brandon?
saying hi to you.
Hi, Brandon.
Yeah, yeah.
What's
So
happening?
just dealing with apples a lot, huh? And that's funny how when you deal with something kind of over and over, you
Yeah.
kind of don't want it,
Right,
or
Yeah.
you kind of get
right.
what is it,
And
repelled
you
by
want to know something super ironic is
this
we
stuff.
had all these walnut trees, and now I am deathly allergic to walnuts.
Really?
Like
Oh.
I will probably die if I ate a walnut.
Yeah, you got your whole life tolerance in your
I did.
childhood.
Yeah.
I did. I did.
Got it all in there.
Yeah. So
So
how old were you when you moved? So you said you ended up moving to San Diego and then to the Carolinas.
yes, so I moved
Or
to
what
San
year, I
Diego
should say.
when I was 28, maybe.
Hmm.
So I
Okay.
grew up in Northern California until I was around there. Moved to San Diego. We lived there. No, I'm lying. Let me think about this.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Take your time.
it's I'm
It's
old
kind of
now,
a blur.
so we're gonna age myself here. So I lived in San Diego for
We
12
do it
years,
all the
and then I
time.
lived here for about 8ish years. So
Okay.
we're gonna roll with I don't know. I moved here in 2012.
Okay.
Hmm.
So yeah,
Yeah.
we're gonna
So
go with that.
Yeah. So now did you go to college and like get a degree in culinary arts, or it's just pure like passion and this is what I want to do?
This is what I want to do. I always wanted to cook. I was in San Diego and I worked for a wine bar, and the owner was a chef, and he let me learn with all the other chefs in the back. And I was an upfront person, so I just kind of like learned all those things.
Uh-huh.
And I worked in like the corporate world for the longest time. And
Yeah.
when I had my daughter, she's now almost 13. So when I had my daughter, I had decided to take my tiny, tiny little business where we made like little jams and jellies and all those fun things, and
Uh-huh.
we sold at farmers markets. I decided to not go back to work and
Hmm.
just do that.
Hmm.
So it was too expensive, and the whole toss up of like go to work, pay someone to watch my kid, and then like
Yeah.
do that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I decided to just pursue my dream,
Yeah.
basically.
Now, when did you have that dream, though? I know
Yeah.
you pursued it at that time, but I'm
I
always curious to
um,
know
I'm going to
when.
say probably I wrote my first cookbook in 2007. So probably like, I don't know, 2005. So gosh,
Wow.
that's
Mhm.
a really long time ago.
That's
Yeah.
good, though.
20
Yeah.
years ago, probably around that. And
Hmm.
I used to play with like spices and make spice blends and do that kind of fun stuff. And all my friends
Hmm.
used to be like, oh, you should make spice blends and sell them. And then it turned into spice blends to into mustards, into
Uh-huh.
sauces and all those things. And then we would go to the farmers markets and we would sell
Yeah.
all the farmers markets. And the lady who was next to me, she was a big caterer. And so
Hmm.
I started working for her,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
I started learning catering and fun stuff from her.
Yeah.
And then I got my stuff into grocery stores while we were there.
Hmm.
And um, it
That's
was just
awesome.
super fun. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
super fun. And then all of a sudden, we had to up and move. And
Yeah.
I had to shut everything down. We came to the Carolinas, and I started everything over here.
Yeah, and that's
Nice.
interesting for you to give that rundown because often people may be discouraged by not starting, thinking, I'm just going to jump from A to Z. But what people fail to realize oftentimes is there's steps involved.
Right.
And even for yourself, whether you said you're making spices, mustards, or sauces, or what have you, then working with the caterer, so and so on and so forth. But there's steps until you're like your own boss, so to speak.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So some people think you're supposed to start and just get right to the being their
Right.
own boss, but I think
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
important. Yeah, that you kind of.
And get a whole load of money and then start and do those things. But I literally started with zero money. I had literally zero money. I used to
Hmm.
go to Sur La Table and I would buy the stuff that like anybody else would buy, the bottles and stuff, and then I would make my things and I would
Hmm.
go and sell them at the farmers market and not make any money and all those things. And I remember the day that I had enough orders that I could order jars or bottles from a company like in bulk, and it was the best
Hmm.
thing ever because I was like, holy crap, I'm going to actually make a tiny bit of money. Like it was
Yeah,
the best thing
exactly.
ever. It was like the next step up of like, okay,
Yeah, I bet
I
that.
might have like made it just a little bit. So
Yeah,
yeah.
and I
Hmm.
bet that moment felt great for you when you reached that point and you saw yourself having some funds left over after you made all your ordering and
Yeah.
things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
Yeah.
that's
and
nice.
yeah,
To
and
to
obviously.
start from nothing and to end up with a whole lot of something and then
Mhm.
have to do it again. When I came here, I literally started from zero again here,
When you
and
moved to
in
the
a whole new
Carolinas, that is
environment
right.
and new people, new everything. And such a I literally went from like the right coast to the left coast of like a
Right,
completely different like geographic what do you call it, like just people, like everyone's
Hmm.
right.
different in,
Yeah,
Yep.
on the west coast than they are on
demographics.
the east coast. And I couldn't have gone like any farther out literally,
Uh huh.
except for maybe, I don't know, a couple hours out to the east here.
Yeah,
But it's just such a different uh, whole environment from California to the Carolinas, and like just how everything is done and the
mhm,
processes and the people and the selling and the buyers and just everything. And I mean,
yeah,
I thought that I was doing so good in California, and
mhm.
I'm literally such a badass here in the Carolinas. Like it is
Yeah,
speechless at the things that like I have accomplished with my team, and just the amount of like help that the health department and the state
Mhm.
and like all the things that like that you didn't have in where I used to live, and just
Right.
the stuff that like they help you with, the things like, oh, you need to have this, you need to have this, you need
Mhm.
to have this so that you don't get in trouble, and blah blah blah, and all those things, and just the we called it the gateway of opportunity of all the things
Right.
that like opened up to me when I was here, and
Mhm.
that have made me where I am now, like almost
Yeah.
9 years later. So
Yeah.
Nice.
Wow. Another question for me, because I get ideas as I hear I guess talk. Did you have a plan of action when you were relocating from San Diego to here? You didn't have a specific
no.
plan of action,
I
really?
had zero plan of action. My daughter was, she literally had just turned 2. I had a house full of animals. We drove cross
Mhm.
country. We moved blindly and had no idea where we were coming.
Mm.
And so we got here, and I decided to maybe just take a little bit of time off and find my way
Uh
and
huh.
figure out like what I was doing. And we knew some people that were coming, and it was just a blind move, and it was really
Yeah.
hard for me to like figure out what am I doing. And
Right.
so I just kind of took some time off. I let my daughter be my daughter, and I let
Hmm.
myself finally like become me again and
Hmm.
reevaluate like all the things. And
Hmm.
I don't know, I think it was probably like 8 months. And I found a person to help us rebrand and
Okay.
start over on our website and like do some
Hmm.
fun things and products and that kind of thing. We
Yeah.
started with products again. And I found someone that was in Waxhaw, and she was like, do you want to come sell your stuff? And I was like, yeah. So
Mm.
that's where it started, was Waxhaw. And I went to this little, it was like a farmer's market type thing.
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
everybody loved it.
Yeah. So
And
you
just,
basically started the whole process over, like as you had done before, but not knowing that that's what you were going to do.
yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
with
Interesting. And
nothing.
yeah, and you've been on TV. You haven't just been on No Shortcuts. You've been on.
Yeah.
I think I saw. I mean, granted, this might be the highlight of your TV appearances.
Oh, sure.
But what you were on? Like, was it the Charlotte Morning Show? I forget what. I've been on
Yeah.
it before too, with Eugene and those guys a couple
Yeah,
years ago. But
Jeannie's
about
one
you?
of my best friends. I love him to death.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
do a lot of stuff on Charlotte Today. I do a lot of stuff
Charlotte
on
today.
WB. Friday morning, we're on WB, my daughter and I, and we're on QC Life, and we cook all the time on all of those. And I happened to meet someone. Someone invited me to her house, and she was like, "I have this ladies opportunity. Can you please come?" She gave me nothing other than that. And
Hmm.
so I came, and there was a speaker, and his name was Coach Lamont. And
Oh, I
he
know
was,
Coach Lamont too.
yeah.
Hmm.
And so he was, at the time, he was, had a show on WB, and
Yep.
he was looking for someone to come on TV and like show their presence. And
Hmm.
so we all just kind of like did our thing. We didn't do any presentations or anything. We just did whatever. We just were there to like kind of meet people, and two
Hmm.
of us ended up to where he was like, would you guys like to come and do a cooking show?
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
we weren't all cooking people. We were all just entrepreneurs, business owners. We were all
Hmm.
ladies. Um,
Hmm.
and so he got me on to WB, and I call him my gateway, because
Yeah.
he was my gateway. And then I feel like once he opened that gate, I think your talent has to like get
For
you
sure.
everywhere else.
For
And
sure.
so I did pretty good, apparently, because then I don't know, it's been 6 7 years since I've been
Yeah.
on a million times. And
Mm.
Wow.
Fox
That's awesome.
Fox used to, they caught wind of it, and I used to be on Fox all the time, and now they don't have a TV, a kitchen anymore. And
Hmm.
but Charlotte Today, I met Eugene one night at, I don't know, Bradshaw's, and
Okay.
he, do you want to come and talk on the show? And so I got onto that,
Cool.
and so yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
there's
no,
that.
that's nice. And I was gonna have her cook for us today, ladies and gentlemen, but she does have a
Yeah.
big day tomorrow with her Valentine's Day situation. And tell the folks about your current business where you are right now, broadcasting live from.
Hmm.
Yes. So where we are right now, I own two businesses. So I own Splendicious Kitchen, which is our
Splendid.
catering and meal prep. And then I also am co-owner with my business partner Mindy, a
Mindy.
wine bar, restaurant, and a bookstore, which is called Corks Cooks and Books. And
Mhm.
we are all located in the same building. So Mindy owns the book publishing company, which is Warren Publishing, and then Corks Cooks and Books and Splendicious Kitchen. So we
Yeah.
are a lady power team,
Yeah.
and we're
All
all
ladies.
out of here. We are all ladies minus one
Oh,
dishwasher.
one. Okay,
One
gotcha.
dishwasher who is my
I
kitchen
don't think
manager.
I've seen him.
no, no. So yeah, we are a lady power team, and we all kick butt, and
Yeah.
we do some amazing stuff here. So we do all kinds of food, all kinds of
Yeah.
entertainment, all
Good
kinds of
stuff.
wine tastings, wine
Mhm.
clubs, meal prep, like
Books.
so many things. Books. I mean, like you name it, there's everything.
Yeah.
Beer.
I'm here.
Tell him a
I'm
little bit
here for
about
the
your.
wine club. Tell me more about the wine club. I got a case. I got a case being delivered
He,
tomorrow,
he won't.
but I would love to get something locally as well.
So along with the wine tastings that we have, most of the wine tastings, I have a wine distributor who comes and I pair the food and the wine distributor comes, and so we kind of pair up and we talk about that stuff. But then we also have Wino Club, which all my friends call me
That's
Chef
you.
Wino. And so that is what I run, and it's basically the same thing. It's just a little bit more intimate. It's like going to a winery. It's how I learned how to wine taste, where
Yeah, me
up in
too.
wine country, where it's the smaller like
You have to.
boutique places,
You have to
and you
do
go
the
in
swirl.
and you learn about the wine, and you
Yes.
learn about the sip, the swirl, the
Yeah.
the legs on the glass, all the
Right.
notes, and all those fun things about wine,
Mhm.
and like the food part of it. Like it's not necessarily a class, because we're drinking and having fun and we're talking and doing all those things, and we're
Mhm.
eating and learning about, like, I always come up with some crazy small bite that comes along with that wine that you get, and it's always something you're like, holy crap, really? Like, where did you come up with that kind of
Mhm.
thing? So it's super fun. It's
Yeah.
not necessarily like a club that you have to join. It's just something that you can come to every month,
Yes.
and um, you get discounts off the wine that we have, that we have that night. You get to drink, eat,
Speaking
and
all my languages, wines and discounts. So
yeah,
that's how
This guy.
we. I know that's
it's
how we
fun.
got into our appreciation for wine as well. Not in California, obviously, but we lived in Asheville for a few years, and we used to visit a lot of the places there in Asheville, and they would do like themed like wine dinners and wine tastings
Yes.
where which learn about the different notes and stuff like that. And my dad is a part owner of a winery in Virginia, so whenever we go visit him, he does all the things, and he's telling, "Oh yeah, that was a great year for grapes." I'm like, "Okay, well, let me taste it." I
Yeah.
don't know, I just want to taste
That's
some. But
cool.
we're going now. We'll be there.
That's super fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we do wine dinners, wine tastings, and we do all those things. Like, it's not
Hmm.
just the Wino Club that's super fun, but like
Yeah.
we'll do if the Wino Club is a little bit more intimate, there's less people. And the wine tastings, usually there's a ton of people that come, and a lot of people are coming just to like drink and like do whatever. And
Hmm.
my wine guy and I will quickly talk and do their thing, and then everybody wants to do their sippy sip of it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, it's super fun. It's all the
Yeah.
things that remind me how much I love my job, is food pairings and the
Yeah.
wine pairings and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome.
That's great.
Awesome.
And my question was about the transition from selling your products to going into, your restaurant in a physical location like that. What was that like?
So before I came into the actual restaurant, I had a commercial kitchen, because we have
Okay.
always done catering and stuff. And
Mhm.
so
Yeah.
my kitchen was just a little tiny kitchen that really you couldn't go to. It was down in Van Wyck, and it was this little teeny tiny kitchen in the middle
Mhm.
of nowhere. And it was just a straight up production kitchen. Like, we knocked
Mm.
out so many things. And during COVID, we COVID was actually, I had to say this, but a good time for us, because
Mhm.
Yeah.
um, we had started these freezer meals right before COVID started in January.
Mm.
and it was just a meal program that it was fun to like get together, and ladies would come to someone's house and we would bring all the things and they would make these meals and they would drink wine and make their meals and do all that stuff. And it was a huge thing. We were booked all the way through May, and then COVID hit in March. And I had to quickly figure out how to reinvent myself. And
Right.
so we decided to move all of that to the kitchen, and we did it ourselves, and we changed it into a you order, we make it, and we do a no contact deliver. And so we fed over 10,000 families that first year of
Wow.
and I can't even tell you how many meals we made. And
Yeah. Wow.
it literally, I mean, I lost like over $50,000 worth of catering jobs and all of that stuff because of COVID. And
Yeah.
that literally saved all of my team's jobs, for one. It saved me, kept me in business, and we fed so many people, which was so amazing. Like,
Yeah.
so, because this was the time to where it was the really, really like bad time where you couldn't leave the house. You had
Yeah,
to
you
have,
had to get creative.
like, if you got pulled over, you had to show that you were what was it,
Essential.
essential worker.
worker.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you got pulled over, like if you weren't an essential worker and you had something that you didn't show, like you were in big trouble. And
Yeah.
so that was that whole like quarantine time to where
Yeah.
we were the only ones that were leaving the house to go to work, and we were cooking and we were delivering and we were making so much food. It was crazy.
Yeah.
So-
Now, did the fact that you guys were doing that and doing deliveries, did that kind of help you make up for the loss due to COVID, or did it kind of, well, at least kept you afloat?
It kept me afloat.
Right.
It
Right.
definitely kept me afloat enough to where we now, I mean, how long's it been since COVID?
Like,
4 years?
like almost 4 years. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, we still do those same meals every single week.
Yeah,
So,
that's what I was gonna say. You still do that, and where you do meals for families and things like that. And we're gonna get your website and everything here in a minute. But I was thinking back to COVID. You know, Brandon and I, especially, you know, being musicians and whatnot, we had to get creative. He came with the idea. You know, we couldn't play for a minute, but we started doing these things called quarantunes, Facebook Lives, and we had an engineer come. We did it at my place. The engineer would run the microphones and my keyboard and everything, drum machine through an actual mixer, run it through his laptop, and we did like about 12 or 13 weeks every Friday at 7 p.m. I believe it was. We do an hour's worth of music for virtual tips, and that was one of the ways.
Super cool.
Yeah, that's one of the ways we were able to stay afloat. So COVID, even though it was a bad time for many, I think for creative people or entrepreneurs, we had, well, I take this back. For entrepreneurs, we had no choice but to be creative during that time.
Yeah, and to reinvent ourselves, all of us.
Yeah.
Like, we had to figure out something. I mean, even the restaurant, we opened this restaurant during COVID, and it was ballsy, but it was towards, I mean, I don't even know if there's an end to COVID, but it was the
Yeah, not
October of 23, and not of 23, of 20.
Mindy.
Oh, look. So
Hey,
Mindy, hello.
this is my partner, Cry Mindy,
Yes.
with the wine bar restaurant and stuff. And we were just talking about how we opened in the middle of COVID. And
Yeah.
and we're still alive and kicking, suckers.
Yeah.
That's right.
You want Mindy, since Mindy's right there, should she tell us about the specials that are going on tomorrow for
Oh,
Valentine's?
there you go.
Yeah.
Hey.
What special?
What's good
You
for
know, we're gonna-
Valentine's Day?
Hey, you can't show up without being put to work. We're gonna find something for you to do, Mindy.
Thank you. Great. Specials? I have no idea.
The specials are the lunch special is a caprese flatbread today. And then we have happy hour from 4 to 6
Okay.
every day. And tonight we don't have anything except for good food and good wine and good beer.
And
Yeah.
good.
Now,
Anything
Team.
happening for Valentine's Day?
yeah, you guys got the Valentine tomorrow. for
Tomorrow is a huge Valentine's night. We had a 3-course prefix menu, and we had a 5 o'clock and a 7 o'clock slot, and we booked up super fast. We have enough room for just a couple of walk-ins. I didn't book it all the way, but if people wanted to come in and just have a glass of wine and have food off the menu, they could do that. And So yeah,
Yeah.
but
So,
yeah.
so you're basically booked up for as far as reservations for
Look
tomorrow.
solid.
Nah, we could take maybe one more if it was one of
One
you
more?
all.
Should they call today?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
You
Yes.
guys better call Corks, Cooks, and Books today if you want to.
Use the
If you
promo
haven't
code
made your
no shortcuts.
yeah, no shortcuts. Tell them you heard it here.
That's the password. It's no shortcuts.
That's it.
That's right.
That's it. Wow, that's awesome. So that's great that you guys have, basically filled your seating for Valentine's Day and whatnot. And everywhere I go, I hear people talking about you guys because I'll be like, I'm just in the grocery store, just people talk to me. I don't know why, but so I'll just tell them where I'm playing at and things like that, and then you get the couple or the lady or the guy here on the side. Oh, I've heard about that place, Court Cooks and Books, and then it's a whole thing. So I will say that word is getting around. I'm sure it has already been around, but it's like now since I've been, it's how like when you get a new car and you start noticing all the vehicles that are the same as yours.
Yes.
So since we've been coming there,
Yes.
it's been like in conversation in public places and stuff, and so I'm
I love
always
it.
sending people there. So tell the people a little bit about your entertainment selection there at Courts.
Wow. We really have like an eclectic array of musicians that come, and we do that on purpose because
Yeah.
we want people to, and we don't repeat that like so many times every month. We have different people every month. It's really like the same people but once a month kind of thing, to where
Yeah.
we don't repeat them a couple of times a month because they play at other places, and we want to make sure that like everyone gets to go everywhere. But I mean,
Yeah.
like we have you guys are R&B, like amazing stuff. We have a country guy, we have classic rock. I mean, there's a little bit of all things, and we try to do all the different genres, all the different just guys, girls, piano, keyboard,
Yeah.
guitar, like all those things that we can fit into our tiny little space. That keeps everybody happy, so they can just keep coming back every weekend. It's
Yeah.
always Friday and Saturday, and you guys are the exception for a Thursday every now and then.
Well, we
Um,
appreciate it for sure.
Yeah, and we have music bingo on Thursdays when you guys are not playing.
Okay.
And our wine tastings and a wino club, book club. We try to do something that's like almost every night that we can get people to just come in.
No, it's a nice vibe for sure. And Mindy's
Coming
in charge
soon.
of the
Yeah.
books. I'm trying to make Mindy say something. She got to go.
You gotta go.
Oh, hey, sorry. I know.
Hey,
I
Mindy.
was talking over her shoulder, but
It's okay. Great to see you. We know you got big things going on this evening and tomorrow. Great. Thank you for
Thank you,
popping
Mindy.
on for a second.
absolutely. Bye,
Yeah.
guys.
All right. See you
Hey,
later.
Juan says, "Did you
Oh, we got
live
some
in
comments?
Waterside and Fort Mill?"
Yes, I do. I do live in Waterside, and I remember you.
Juan,
Oh, you guys are
Cruise
neighbors.
planners to the stars.
Yeah. Juan
Celebrity
Velasquez.
travel planner.
He's a member of our community.
What up,
James
James Masters?
Masters.
Is here too.
Came in
Sounds
with-
great. Thank you,
James.
James.
Yeah, both of them are former guests of our
Friends
show.
of
My
the
brother,
show.
friends of the show, former guests, my brother as well. Who else is here real quick while we taking a little pause for the calls? And do you guys have any questions for Shonali?
I have a question. When are we going to
Okay.
book Famous Tuesdays at Corks, Cooks, and Books?
Oh yes, please. I think
On-
that
On a Tuesday?
On it, let's
fantastic
go
idea.
throw it up on a Tuesday.
On a
I love it.
Tuesday.
Whatever you want it to
I
be.
love the name, Famous Tuesdays.
Famous.
Let's do it.
I just
Yeah.
did that. You see, let's do it. It could be whatever. It could be 80s night. It could be whatever you want it to be
Yes.
on a Tuesday night.
Let's do that.
Yeah, he's
Little
been
throwback.
Yeah,
Little
he's
throwback.
been. Yeah, how many years you got DJing Famous? I mean, I know you for like 15.
Well, 1991 was a long time ago, and we've been aging ourselves on this show a little bit, right?
Well, we're talking about wine, so it's right up the alley.
I might have graduated high school in '91.
Did you really?
Oh.
Wow.
I
So
graduated
I'm
high
almost
school
there.
in '96, so we
Yeah.
telling
Oh,
our
wait,
ages a little bit.
I graduated in 95.
Yeah,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
okay. So we all in the same.
I beat you both. I beat you both.
Yeah.
We all in the same bracket, so to
Yeah.
speak. I would say, though. That's awesome. So
sure.
do you want to give out your websites?
Yes, please.
where our guests could possibly find you and get more information if they can't make it tomorrow, but they can definitely make it in the future if they want to patronize the catering or the family meals. How could our guests get in
So
contact with you and
you
follow
would
you?
want to go for catering and meal prep. You're going to go to splendishes.com. And if you want to come to the restaurant, you can come to corkscooksandbooks.com.
All right. I think famous.
And
Splendicious.com.
find us on social media. We are all over social media. We do all
Yeah.
kinds of fun stuff. And
Yeah.
you'll always find all of our events and what we're doing and all those things.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you guys have a great administrator who is over your Corks Cooks. I don't know if it's you or somebody else, but
Yeah.
when people are asking questions in the Rock Hill Eats, somebody's on it. Like,
That's me. Most of the time, so we have an admin. She's my amazing admin. She does it for both Splendishes and Corks. Her name is Jen,
really,
and
yeah.
so
Then
she's
gets a
our
raise.
media magician, and
Yeah,
she does all of the posting. And for the most part, if I see something, we try to stay engaged with everybody, and
absolutely.
especially on Rock Hill Eats, I usually post on my own because I think
Okay.
I have my own presence on there, and
Hmm.
people know just my name. So we do a lot of like, I do a post on top of what we have on that, and if we
Hmm.
have specials or I have something that I want to say or whatever.
Yeah,
But yeah, we try to respond to pretty much everybody because I
yeah,
feel like that's like the customer engagement, and that keeps
absolutely.
people like that. And
Yeah, and it keeps.
we are always in the restaurant. Like people I think also like that Mindy and I are always here. And
Hmm.
for the most part, I may not be up front, but I'm always in the back dirty cooking and doing
Hmm.
something. And I'll come out with food all over me and say hi to people. And
Yeah,
you've been playing a few
that's.
times, and
I was thinking about the same thing. I didn't even know you were there to the end.
yeah, yeah, literally at like 8:25, and I'm like, "Will you
Mhm.
please play one more song for me because I finally am done singing and I can or playing cooking and I can hear you." So a lot
Yeah,
of times, like people just they know that we're there and they appreciate that we are present and we say
yeah.
hello and we
Yeah.
engage with our customers.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
so that's definitely important. I mean, and I'm sure you see, results from that. And I'm just asking for those that it may be just starting a business and
Mhm.
whatnot, and they're trying to have a social media presence. So I definitely, of course, it's beneficial to do that, right?
Oh yeah, make yourself present. Always answer. Don't ignore the bad.
Hmm.
Address the bad, and take the feedback, as we call it, feedback,
Hmm.
whether it's negative or positive, and take it and spin it. Because a
Mhm.
lot of times that negative feedback can turn into a positive
Yeah,
feedback. We've
Yeah.
had things that happen on Rock Hill Eats and someone blasts me for something and it's horrible and whatever, and I don't necessarily blast them back, but I do
hmm,
respond, and I do um I am one of those that's like, I'm not gonna, the customer's not always right, so I
mm,
am not gonna throw my team under the bus. I'm not gonna throw my restaurant under the bus, and I'm not gonna just bow down to you because you said that something was bad or that something
yeah,
wasn't right or this or that. So it depends on what the post was, it depends on what it was, but a lot of
right.
times, like, I will always stand for my team and my
Mhm.
food and my restaurant because we do everything to make it right. And I'm
Yeah,
not saying that we are perfect because there is
right.
always
Yeah,
something that can be wrong.
nobody is.
No. And I mean there's always something, but there's always that person who's a keyboard warrior that wants to
Yeah,
be the jerk
that-
and
yeah,
say something that's like, really? Like plastic plates, folding bar stools, like,
yeah,
okay, I mean,
yeah.
go ahead, be that
That's
jerk.
what I was gonna say too. I think back in the day, the customer is always right thing could apply nowadays with social media and, like you said, keyboard warriors or what have you. Like I'm even thinking about the Super Bowl, how everybody's critiquing the halftime
Yeah.
Yeah.
performance. Like, come on,
Yeah.
man. Like,
Yeah.
and without
Just enjoy the
understanding.
show.
Say again,
Just
famous.
enjoy the show.
Yeah,
Right.
but they're not taking in consideration as a performer. I can think a little bit beyond that. It's a madhouse. It's Super Bowl Sunday. The backstage is probably super crazy. You got extra people, and everything is pressure because of time, commercials, everything like that. So just enjoy the show and
Yeah.
don't expect it to be flawless, but just enjoy it and take it
Right.
for what it is. And at the end of the day, you are at home on the couch.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Where
Right.
these people are actually living their
Let's see you
dreams.
get up on some rollerblades and not fall in
Yeah.
your
Yeah, I
love.
can't even I can't even
Exactly.
roller
Millions
skate.
of
What can I
people.
say?
Yeah.
I can't.
That's kind
So
of
it's like
the
so. I'm just tying all of that into what you're saying with the.
Well,
So
and
nowadays, you
I
know,
have one thing to address that I have not addressed, and I wasn't going to, but I'm going to address it here.
do
Um,
it.
let's do it.
Bullying is a huge thing for me. I was
Yeah.
bullied my entire life, whether it was because girls were jealous or just wanted to be mean or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Majority of the time, it comes down to jealousy. And
Mm-hmm.
we had a message that came through the other day, and it was really mean, and
Mm-hmm.
it was directed pretty much at me, and it
Mm-hmm.
took me back to my high school and school days of being
Uh-huh.
bullied, and it was just she was really mean, and she took the time to compose a long message that said that we are not the capacity, or we don't have the atmosphere, and the food quality and all of those things to pull off $150 plus dinner, and
Hmm.
our plastic plates and our folding chairs, and all these things. And she was like, "I'm
Hmm.
not trying to be negative, but I just wanted to put my 2 cents in." And
Wow.
That one.
the first thing I wanted to say was, "Well,
Woo.
I won't cuss because I know moms are listening, but
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
wanted to respond and say, well, it's just matter of fact that we are actually fully booked with those $150
Yeah.
dinners for the entire 2 time slots." So
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
we did not respond because I knew that it would open a can
Go
of worms.
crazy.
And I
Yeah.
didn't want to start something and stoop down to someone's level. But
Mm-hmm.
I did show it to my daughter because my daughter is 12, and
Uh-huh.
we talk about bullying all the time because when I was a kid, I did not talk about bullying.
Yeah.
Right.
I didn't tell my parents. I didn't tell anyone, and I just lived with it. And
Mm-hmm.
to this day, it still gets to me. And I am
Triggering.
now like such a different person than I was in school, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't stand for it. And
Yeah.
Mhm.
I wanted to show her that because bullying happens at all ages,
Yeah.
It
and
does.
matter like who you are, what you do, how much of a badass that you are,
Mm-hmm.
or whatever. There is always going to be that mean girl
Yeah.
who is going to try to get you. And as much as I don't, she got me. She got
Mm.
under my skin,
What
and
did you
I love.
respond though or no?
She
I
didn't
didn't.
respond.
I didn't.
So she didn't get you.
She did get me.
But it
No.
got
She
out
Well.
of
got
hand,
me
Well.
yeah.
because it
No.
bothered me, and she
Right.
was mean. And
Right.
I just, it's like, why?
Right.
Why?
I understand what you're saying, but the fact that you didn't let it bother you to the point where you responded and you were in a midst of going back and forth,
Yes,
Mhm.
you won.
I
Yeah.
did. I told all the girls at the kitchen that she was
Yeah.
ugly, and
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
it
Yeah.
right.
didn't
Yeah. I mean,
matter.
of
And
course you're gonna do that. Yeah. You
That's
know.
great.
so
Yeah.
I did do that part. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
like
You got to
bullying
get it
happens
off
at
your
all
chest.
ages.
It
And
happens at
those
all
are
ages.
like, that's something as a woman, business owner and entrepreneur, and just like all women owned teams, that like that is a girl power thing. Like you
Mhm.
shouldn't bring other women down, and that's something that I champion, and that I
Right.
will work with any woman business. I'll work with any business. I don't even care. Half of my
Mhm.
restaurant people, friends, are my best friends, and they're men.
Yeah. That's great.
But we also work with other wine stores and wine
Mhm.
restaurants who everyone's like, well, isn't that your competitor? Or aren't you guys like in competition? And no, we are not in competition. We are here to
Yeah.
lift each other
Community.
up.
Community
Everybody
over
drinks wine.
competition.
There's so many people that drink wine. Everyone's going to come to all these places. So
Yeah.
that's something that is a big thing for me. So if you ever have something that's like a bullying issue or a
Yeah.
bullying like platform that I can like jump on and like give me my
Absolutely.
my Tarzan like thing.
Yeah.
Well, I
So
was
let me
gonna
ask you this.
say, I was
Go ahead.
just gonna say quickly. I know we're up against the clock. We got like 3 minutes, but thank
Yeah.
you for that message. My
Yeah.
daughter is 22. My oldest daughter is 22. She's a pastry chef, and
Cool.
I'm going to play this for her because
Yeah.
I know it was something that she struggled with
Yeah.
as a teen, and even probably some now. But like you said, you didn't talk about it to anyone. I know she didn't talk about it when it was happening to her as well, and it's affected her as a young adult. Kind of coming along in the world, and I would love for her to hear positive stories like that. So
Well,
I
and
really
it's true for
appreciate that.
us when we work in a man's world. The kitchen, and being chefs is
Yeah.
it's a man's world, not necessarily pastry chefs, because I think more so pastry chefs are female,
Right.
but it doesn't matter. Like chef is a chef,
Yeah.
and it's so funny because like home cooks are women, but the chefs, the professional chefs are men, and it's
Right.
like it's a man's world that we all have to compete in and whatnot, and it's like some of us are a whole lot better than you dumb guys. So and we're smarter, we're better, we can run better businesses and
Yeah.
all those things. So girl power is all here.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And if
So
your daughter
Absolutely.
ever wants to talk to me, I will lift her all the way up.
Yes.
Nice.
I will
Nice.
definitely.
So
I'm going to facilitate that. Go ahead.
and as we close out that particular part, was it just a random person messaging you based
Yeah.
on what you were promoting?
Yeah.
Oh
It was
my
it
God.
was my Valentine's dinner, and
Oh,
she may be a customer here, she may not be. We had mutual
yeah.
friends, and she had questioned about a wine dinner one time, and she just sent us a PM
Yeah.
that was through
Yeah.
Facebook, and just a
She
random
obviously,
message that she sent us, and I was
yeah.
like, "Why are you taking the time to send this? Like,
Right,
what
right.
is
Yeah.
different?"
It's obviously she has time for a reason. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Sending this whole long thing and nobody even talking to you directly. If it doesn't apply to you, if that's your opinion, keep it moving. You don't have to
Well,
take
she's the
time.
one who's missing out because everybody else is going to have a fantastic free
Yeah.
dinner.
Yeah.
So
She's
Yeah.
going to be eating oodles of noodles that night.
Yeah,
So
and she
maybe.
could have. In the time she took to type that, she could have made $150.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Juan said, the envy there means that you're doing something right.
Yeah,
So
yeah, and you
that's
gotta
a
have
perfect way to
Shonali.
pass that.
Actually, you gotta have a little bit though. If we were to like beyond the bullying aspect, but we gotta have those little instances where it adds a little fuel to the fire, give us a little
Yeah.
bit more
All
motivation.
it
You know what I
does
mean?
is it thickens my skin and it makes
Yeah,
me even more resilient against all those jerks out there who
yeah,
want to be jerks. And it helps me teach my daughter and all of her friends and any young mentors who need guidance or any of those things that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Rise
yeah.
above.
Oh, that's a perfect way to end this
Yeah,
thing, I
that is
believe.
perfect.
Okay, so let's see. We did the websites, and we know about and ladies and gentlemen, Courts, Cooks and Books is in Rock Hill, South Carolina, by the way. So if you are in Rock Hill or surrounding areas, please be sure to stop by there. We got the links and everything in the chat. Before we let you go, what's a bit of advice for any one thinking about starting their own business or following their dream and they just haven't done it yet?
If you have the dream, follow it.
Yeah.
Go with your heart and do what your heart says, and listen to the people along the way and find that person like I did, and all of the other people who have found me and asked me the question that they were afraid to ask because I was another woman and another business owner and they didn't know, and I was the one to help them become who they became. So always ask, always
Yeah,
follow
totally
your
that's right.
dream and do what you want.
Yeah,
Be
yeah, yeah. Well,
who
this
you are. Girl power.
Yeah,
Girl
girl
power.
power.
Let's
Well,
go.
we're so glad that you could join us and take an hour out of your time. And this is a great conversation. Every Tuesday we do this. I always feel energized, whenever we wrap. So we appreciate that. We got into some other things, but sometimes things like that need to be said because you
Yes.
never know who is going to help. And just like what Famous said and his daughter, so I'm glad you
Yeah.
used us as the safe haven to get some things off your chest.
Yes.
Thank you for
Talk
letting me
about
do
it.
that.
Yeah, and don't hang up yet. We'll say goodbye to you separately. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for joining us for our latest installment. Please be sure to follow us on YouTube, follow us on Spotify, follow us on Apple Music.
All those
Where else?
places.
Twitch, Instagram. No shortcuts with Midas and Fame. Make sure y'all do that. Share this with a friend today. And we're at 600 plus members over in our No Shortcuts community. Now, thank you all for all that you have done to help us build. Thank you, Shonali, one last time. Oh, there's Juan. Okay, he's coming to see you. See, you getting some opportunities from being on here. That's great. But yeah, let's do it again next week, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all. Have a great rest of the week. Great rest of the day. Oh, you got someone coming over?
Oh, my team is gonna say.
Oh,
goodbye
come on,
to
team.
everybody.
Come on, team.
Ever.
Come on,
Power.
team. Cook some books, team. Hey. All right, good day, y'all. Thank you, Shonali.